here today in Pollock on the outskirts of Glasgow to visit a manorial stronghold that's been here for 400 years plus. I'm Adrian Cox, I'm an archaeologist from Historic Scotland, and we're here today to visit Crookston Castle. The castle here originates in the 12th century when Robert de Croc built a ringwork here and a timber tower on the site, and a little township on the outside which he called Crookston, or now as we know it, Crookston. After the Wars of Independence with England, the castle passes into the hands of the Stuart family, and it's Sir Alexander Stuart, or perhaps his son John Stuart, who built the castle that we now see in around about 1400. The tower house has an unusual plan. It's a central block, 3 stories high, with a corner tower on each of 4 corners, 5 stories in height, and it's the northeast tower which survives to its full height today. So let's have a look inside, shall we? Coming into the castle, one of the first things we see is the great vaulted storage cellar in the main rectangular block. This storage cellar was probably full of wine and food and provisions of various sorts. At the western end of the cellar, there's a clue to how the storage cellars communicated with the kitchens. This doorway over here is the doorway to one of the demolished towers on the north side, which was probably the kitchen. In the southwest corner of the cellar, there's another blocked doorway over here, which led to another tower, also lost. And you can see the door's been blocked up, but there's a later cupboard or aumbrey been inserted into the blocking. Immediately inside the entrance there's a steep stairway up to the first floor, and it leads us up to the great hall where the Lord and Lady would have entertained their guests. The steps going up to the first floor are worn in the middle with centuries of foot traffic, and then you enter the great hall, a large open space. In the 15th century this was the Lord's great hall. There would have been lots of noise and people dining, the Lord and Lady seated at the east end. This was a vibrant, colourful, music-filled space. This is the great fireplace in the Great Hall, probably the warmest place in the whole castle. And there are 2 nice little armorial panels right next to the fireplace, probably one for the Lord and his Lady. In the 15th century, in an age before banks, you would need somewhere safe to store your gold and jewellery, and these lockable cupboards in the thickness of the wall were ideal for that purpose. Crookston faced a serious test in 1489 when the Earl of Lennox, one of the Stuart owners of the castle, rebelled against King James IV, a young king at the time, and the king responded by bringing his royal artillery train to the castle. The king brought his artillery train up to the castle and commenced a bombardment which lasted at least a day. Some say that the great gun Mons Meg was perhaps involved here, and perhaps that's why the towers are now lost. All that remains now of Robert de Croc's defended settlement here is a deep ditch about 4 metres deep which encircles the hilltop, enclosing an area of about a hectare. When it was built, the castle was in open countryside, but the city has since grown up to surround and encompass it, with this once great castle at its very heart.